Port Everglades, Florida. American intelligence discovered the trail of the Black Gun Network, a massive criminal organization operating right inside America's shipping system. Under the dock cranes and bright lights, this network secretly moved more than 2,500 rifle kits, 12 million bullets, and close to $200 million in illegally cleaned cash through Florida's ports. This was enough firepower to supply a small army. Every shipping container labeled marine equipment actually contained deadly weapons headed to the southern border and the drug cartels waiting there. This wasn't a small-time crime, but an industrial-sized weapons trafficking operation that kept supplying cartel armies month after month in Texas. Now, 300 federal agents and Navy SEALs were ready to move. Their job: destroy the network before sunrise or watch it grow beyond anyone's control. Would this operation successfully tear down the criminal machine before it becomes something even more dangerous? Or would the Black Gun Network spread its reach across borders into other countries? Stay with me as we reveal the truth. October 4th, 2025, 4:20 a.m. Port Everglades, Broward County, Florida. The port comes alive quietly, and the cranes groan. Ship horns echo across the dark water, and rows of steel containers stand under yellow lights like sleeping giants. In a plain-looking warehouse near the service road, workers arrive for their shifts as if they work for a normal marine equipment company. They don't. This is the factory floor where individual parts become tools of murder. For months, investigators followed a pattern that appeared normal on documents, but deadly in reality. Inside each sealed container sat roughly 2,500 component kits with gun barrels, firing mechanisms, triggers, and parts that looked official. One container held enough parts to build 1,200 combat rifles in just 1 week. Do the math with 3 containers moved every week, and the numbers become frightening. 3,600 rifles per week, 15,600 per month, over 180,000 weapons every year flooding streets and war zones. The network called itself the Garrison Shield Network, a boring name that hid the violence. Company invoices listed marine hardware. Bank transfers showed clean payments sent to fake companies. Behind the official papers, cash changed hands secretly in hotel rooms. Investigators followed at least $180 million every 3 months, moving through a web of bank accounts, enough money to pay for dozens of smuggling trips, bribe officials, and fuel the operation. From the dock, an innocent-looking cargo list pointed to what came next. Containers sailed under legal flags, met up with small cargo ships 60 miles out at sea, then moved onto unregistered boats, 7 boats per group that slipped into coastal hideouts at night. From those hideouts, the cargo traveled over land on dirt roads in hidden trailers, then south across bridges into Tamaulipas and into cartel territory. This wasn't random crimes, but industrialized weapons trafficking designed, organized, and able to grow bigger. Port Everglades was the center point. Production, hiding, transportation, transfer. Cut the center and you shut down the entire machine. Investigators studied the shipping records and asked themselves quietly, with the same cold focus they brought to every mission, how many lives would be destroyed if the next 3 containers got through? October 7th to October 9th, 2025. 2 days of silence, glowing computer screens, and exhausted analysts. Across the Gulf of Mexico, faint digital signals told a story no one was meant to discover. From Miami to Laredo, a joint task force of 300 agents made up of the FBI, ICE, and naval intelligence put together pieces of a network so huge it blurred the line between business and warfare. Each clue was small. A money transfer here, a radar signal there. But by dawn on the 9th of October, the pattern became clear. 48 suspicious cargo transfers at sea in 6 months. 12 cargo ships repeatedly turned off their tracking systems for exactly 42 minutes each time. Every blackout matched a secret pickup. A smaller boat appeared minutes later and headed toward the Texas coast. The data team calculated that a single group of boats could move 3,600 gun kits, enough to arm an entire cartel army every single week. The money trail was even worse. ICE traced 912 wire transfers through 34 fake companies stretching from Florida through Panama to banks near the Mexican border. More than $180 million moved every quarter, cleaned through casinos, shipping companies, and digital currency accounts. One suspicious account showed $12.7 million withdrawn over just 28 days, almost exactly matching the estimated street value of the smuggled weapons. At 2:47 a.m. on October 9th, a satellite caught the heat signatures of 7 unregistered boats leaving a cargo ship 60 miles offshore. At the exact same moment, FBI field agents in Laredo intercepted radio messages using code words for cargo ready and transfer approved. Within minutes, everything connected. What had started as numbers on computer screens had become a kill chain. The pipeline was active, fast, profitable, and protected. Commanders studied the data, exchanged one look, and sent a single encrypted word through the network: execute. The silence of watching was over. The storm was about to begin. 5:30 a.m., northern Pharr, Texas. The word execute appeared on encrypted screens, and within seconds, the quiet morning exploded into violence. Engines roared, helicopter rotors thundered, boots hit the muddy ground. In the thick, foggy air, 300 federal agents, Navy SEALs, and HSI operatives moved toward the compound that had once been untouchable. What happened next wasn't just a raid, it was a full military assault. At 5:33 a.m., the first breach team cut through the fence. Gunfire erupted from the warehouse windows, sending orange streaks through the fog. Within 30 seconds, 3 armored trucks burst from the back lot with mounted gunmen firing wildly. The SEALs responded with precision. 2 rocket strikes slammed into the lead vehicle, scattering burning wreckage across the yard. The third truck swerved off the road, its engine destroyed by heavy machine gun fire from a hovering Black Hawk helicopter. Inside the compound, chaos erupted. 70 cartel gunmen fought back with assault rifles, machine guns, and grenade launchers. The noise was overwhelming. Over 7,800 rounds fired in 15 minutes. Tracer fire cut through the fog like red lightning. One SEAL squad broke into the East Warehouse, discovering 1,200 rifles, 90,000 rounds of ammunition, and crates marked with the symbols of 8 Mexican cartels. Another unit stormed the control building, finding $4.6 million in cash, encrypted record books, and shipping documents detailing 3 upcoming convoys headed for the border. At 5:47 a.m., the battle reached its peak. 2 Apache gunships swooped low, their cannons roaring. 240 rounds of heavy fire destroyed the last resistance. Guard towers collapsed, fuel barrels exploded, and fire rolled through the valley. The flames consumed the yard, painting the sky orange as operators moved through the destruction, securing prisoners and clearing underground bunkers. By 6:10 a.m., it was over. 29 cartel gunmen lay dead, 38 captured alive, and dozens more escaped into the brush. The ground was covered with wreckage of burning trucks, shattered crates, and rifles piled in heaps. The total seizure shocked even the commanders. 2,400 complete rifles, 1,800 unfinished gun kits, and $6.5 million in laundered cash recovered. Over the radio, the SEAL commander's voice broke through. Objective Alpha secure. The smuggling routes were cut, the storage yard destroyed, and the network's backbone broken. But as the smoke drifted east over the Rio Grande, one truth remained among the commanders. This battle had severed one artery. The beast, though wounded, was far from dead. If you think the gunfight was intense, wait until you see how deep the money trail goes. October 10th, 2025. Miami, San Antonio, and Mexico City. The smoke from Pharr had barely cleared when the second phase began. Intelligence recovered from the burned-out yard, 2 encrypted hard drives, and a stack of financial records. This unlocked what investigators call the hidden backbone of the Black Gun Network. Behind every bullet was a banker. Behind every rifle, a company front. the battlefield shifted from dirt and fire to data and finance. The new attack would hit harder than bullets ever could. At 7 a.m. on October 10th, HSI's Financial Crimes Division launched Operation Iron Ledger. 34 fake companies across Florida, the Bahamas, and banks near the border were raided simultaneously. Teams entered office towers in Miami's financial district, cutting power and seizing computer servers before any information could be erased. What they found was shocking. $62 million in frozen bank accounts, 280 accounts linked to weapon shipments, and transfer records showing $740 million cleaned over 18 months. One company alone had processed payments equal to arming an entire Army battalion every 10 days. In San Antonio, another front opened. A TF tactical agent stormed a safe house belonging to a shipping coordinator, connected to the network's Florida operations. Inside were 5 unregistered trucks, each fitted with false floors, hiding crates of gun components, silencers, and illegal conversion parts. Over 5,000 weapon kits ready for export. A brief firefight broke out when 3 guards opened fire from the second floor. The gunfight lasted less than 3 minutes, but left 6 suspects down, 1 ATF officer wounded, and the building filled with smoke after a weapons cache exploded. Meanwhile, in Mexico City, coordination between DEA representatives and local intelligence triggered a series of arrests. 11 cartel middlemen captured in safe houses. 7 vehicles loaded with smuggled rifles stopped on Highway 85. Financial tracking confirmed their connection to the Florida accounts seized days earlier. By October 11th, the full picture emerged. The Black Gun Network wasn't a side operation. It was an industrial supply chain worth over $1.2 billion, moving weapons faster than governments could regulate them. Every spreadsheet, every seized hard drive, every arrest cut another connection from the beast. As the final warrants were served, the task force stood over mountains of confiscated weapons and frozen financial records. They hadn't just raided a smuggling ring, they had crippled a transnational industry. If this much firepower could hide in plain sight, what else was still moving in the shadows? By the 12th of October, the chaos had ended. But the scale of the operation was only beginning to sink in. In a high-security press room in Washington, D.C., federal agencies stood together. ATF, HSI, DOJ, and Navy Command presented a united front, Operation Iron Chain, the most extensive multi-agency interdiction in over 10 years. The numbers were unprecedented. Over 5,000 fully built firearms recovered, 12,000 gun kits seized, $245 million in frozen assets, and 41 high-value suspects detained across 3 countries. But beyond statistics, the strategic impact echoed southward. Within 2 weeks, cartel-linked violence dropped 28% in 6 known danger zones along the U.S.-Mexico border. Tamaulipas reported its lowest murder count in 8 months. In border towns like Hidalgo and Far, locals described a rare calm. One resident interviewed by a federal representative said, "For the first time in years, my children slept through the night." Financial investigation continued to reveal deeper connections. Analysts confirmed that some of the Garrison Shield Network's money was sent through a previously unknown political action group that made campaign contributions to multiple state-level officials. Meanwhile, in Fort Lauderdale, agents cataloged the last of the evidence. Crates now sat in rows under covers at a secure facility, row upon row of weapons that never reached the street. A silent testimony to months of surveillance, code-breaking, and cooperation across agencies. Veterans groups praised the operation for preventing further bloodshed. Families affected by gun violence sent letters of support. But no one in the task force claimed easy victory. Intelligence now suggested pieces of the network were regrouping. The operation was over, but the echoes remained. From the burned ruins of the Far Yard to the sealed warehouses of Fort Lauderdale, every piece of steel now sat behind warning tape. a silent reminder of how close the border had come to drowning in weapons. What began as scattered information had become a war fought across land, sea, and computer networks. And for the first time in years, that war had ended in America's favor. If you believe these battles matter, this battle against corruption, against violence, against the darkness itself, then like and share this story. Also subscribe to help us stay active on the next front line.